You're up, Commissioner.
Okay. Everyone that is going to participate in the 1 o'clock hearings, we'll go ahead and have the deputy clerk swear you in.
Stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So under Idaho Code 63501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as a Board of Equalization. We are here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. on the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code, relating to exemptions from taxation. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, the state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact and not opinion. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The process is this. The property owner will be given 3 minutes. This light is white for the first 2 minutes, and it goes to yellow, and then it'll go to red. When it goes to red and the horn goes off, your time is up. Questions from the assessor will come through the board, and then the assessor's office or table will have 3 minutes, and questions from the appellant will come through the board. Rebuttal and closing statement would be 2 minutes, and then the conversation by the board. The rules: be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned. If your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave or escorted from the building. All right, looks like Bonnie Sanders. Go ahead and state your name in the mic and have a seat, and your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Bonnie Sanders, and I live in Lava Hot Springs. And I was just concerned about the increase of the amount of my taxes because the home was built 46 years ago. We are the only people that have ever lived there. The last time any improvements were performed at that address is in 1999. Since that time, there has been a fire at our on the hillside by our house that has taken almost all of the trees. Luckily, we had a foundation that was concrete, and so the fire did not harm the home itself. We were very blessed that way. In the windstorm that we had this past few months, I have had the soffit and the fascia steel siding blown off. I have tried and tried and tried to get someone to come and repair that for me, and nobody is available for small jobs. Everybody's on big jobs because of construction. Also, our home needs painted, and that was on our list to be done this year. But I can't have the painting done on the steel siding that is peeling until I get the fascia fixed of the home and the soffit siding put back up. So I haven't looked into the painters yet. I have also down the road from me, less than a quarter of a mile, probably an eighth of a mile, is a property that now just has camp trailers on it. The people are building a home there, but there are 5 camp trailers there. That does not improve my property. The 2 houses on the other side of me that are there are now bed and breakfasts. They aren't even lived in most of the winter time. I don't know what that does to the property value. But my main concern was that we just haven't done any improvements, nor been able to do any improvements in the past years, especially the last 5 years. And I just don't know how that affects what is on my property assessment.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the assessor's table?
I was just going to ask when that fire,
Sorry.
when there was the fire.
The fire was a little over a year ago.
Okay. So it must have just gotten there close to your home and not.
Yes, it came
because-
right up to our house, and we
Okay.
have cleared the burnt trees away, but we had to rent
Not
a
around here.
chipper to chip it, because they're not the kind of trees people want to come and get wood off of. They're just cedar trees, and they're hard to cut and haul.
So not seeing a lot of fire damage. I do see a few trees close to your home, or sagebrush or whatever, juniper trees.
You're right.
That look brown,
Yes.
and it looks like that was from a fire. Okay.
Yeah, we
I-
didn't cut those down. The rest
Yeah.
were pretty well torched.
And the only damage that did to your home was on that door, is that correct?
Well, that's the only damage that shows. Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, your 3 minutes begin now.
thank you. Can I use my 3 minutes to ask one more question? The windstorm was that just a couple months ago? A few months ago, but in the year of 2022?
Yes, it was
Okay.
in the early, well, I guess you'd say early spring. I don't know. It's that last time that we had. I should have written the date down, but I didn't.
Yes, it was, and we got it here in Pocatello pretty good.
And
So-
I don't know, there must have
Okay.
been,
We're wandering
Oh, I'm
here
sorry.
Sorry.
from the BOE, okay?
So, subject property built in 1978, comparables all built in 1978, 992 square feet on the main, in the basement, and the basement does have a full finished basement. It sits on a 3.57 acre parcel, and comparable 1 is coming in at 147, comparable 2, 123, and comparable 3, 170. A lot of this is considered regular maintenance unless there's something structural that damage to the home. We would not, for instance, the house needs painted, that's considered average maintenance. So we wouldn't make any adjustments for that. The only adjustments that in the assessor's office we would make is if there was actual structural damage to the home. We are more than happy to go out and do a re-inspection, make any adjustments needed for the year 2022, which would be on the next assessment, but as of January 1, the high winds weren't here, but we are happy to go out and do a re-inspection anytime to reassess that and make adjustments needed for the 2023 tax year. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments on what you just said?
no, I understand what she's saying. Where the soffit and fascia was blown off, it has permitted rain or moisture to get into that part. And it is just a little shed that's there at the side of our house attached.
And like she says, because that wasn't
There,
on
I
January 1st of
understand.
this year.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at
Yes.
now, and then in next year's, that would be
Yes.
accounted for. Commissioner Huff?
I struggle with the comps, because we've got the McCowan comp is in town, and it looks like the Incan one's on Rapid Creek Road. How close is that to being in town?
That's in town.
Yeah, so we'll have both of those in town. The Mon Road one in Lava, I think, is a good comparable. That's pretty similar. So based on what you have with the Mon Road, I think the value is probably where it needs to be, because your price per square foot is 111 versus the Mon Road at 170. Year built similar, square footage similar. So I would struggle to change this one too much.
Okay.
You got a motion?
I'm just going back to look at, they had BOE in 2019. And then again, using the internet data sources, they are substantially higher than what the assessors got it at. So, see assessed value of 318. I think that's probably appropriate. So that's where I'm at. If you're Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 422-701-8800, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value at this point in time.
You have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we did uphold the assessor's value. I would encourage you to look and see, or have them out there, to see if, for next year, that will account for the damages that have been done. You have the ability to appeal this, and so does the assessor's table. You have the ability to go to the state tax board, or you have the ability to go to the district courts. But other than that, I'd say that our hearing is done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Jackman. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Right, I'm Rusty Jackman. What I found, we've got a reoccurring problem at our property with this, and I think what it boils down to is we have a newer house. It's in an older neighborhood. It's zoned high impact, so we have rentals and apartments that surround us, unmaintained properties. And if you look at the county's comps, that I put a copy in there of the paper, but anyways, all these homes, they're on, for the most part, larger lots. 2 of them are on view lots. My lot's not a view lot. One's an income. They're all in much nicer neighborhoods than ours. And this happens every year because of the age of our house. The comparables come from not comparable neighborhoods, and it leads to the value being off. I included, now you'll have to forgive me because I don't have access to MLS or anything, so all I can use is what I can find on the internet. I included the 2 closest houses to mine that are for sale right now. And they are older homes, more square footage. And then I also included the only 2 lots I could find for sale that were in more of an established neighborhood, not new neighborhoods, and they're 20 grand less than what my lot it was appraised at. I think that accounts for some of the misalignment on there. But I think it's just probably a computer problem as far as without doing on-site appraisals and going to each comparable, you can't see the difference in neighborhood and then the difference in value. They did, since I got this put together, they did adjust, they had our square footage improperly marked this year, but they did fix that, so it's a little less than my first assessment was.
Okay,
That's basically, like I said, it seems to be every year we have this same thing where the comparables are kind of out of reality with what our home is.
Comments on what he said?
I would just like to say those comparables are not comparables. What those are assessed values. And it's something that our ProVal system will pop out, and it doesn't go for anybody, location, anything like that. What ProVal does is it jumps in, tries to find similar homes, and then does adjustments on it. So these are not sales. All they are, and we use them only to show equity, and all the land and everything is taken out. You're absolutely right. These are not good sales, and it's just a tool we've got that is used when people come in, to kind of show them, well, this is what we show your house, other similar homes, but we can't edit it or make it, focus on just one area. Having said that, I am going to just thumb down a little bit. So the first comparable is a 1938 home. Subject property was built in 2016. So, there's no similarities there. The building regulations have changed, everything. Comparable number 2, appellant's comparable, was built in 1930. And I agree 100% with you. It is a newer home in an older neighborhood. And because of that, the cost to build the home, and there's hundreds and hundreds of cells. These cells that we are showing here are not the only cells used to come up with value, but location, we put stuff in neighborhoods, and that neighborhood gets its own costing market in different neighborhoods. So all that is taken into consideration, but it is a newer home. When we go out to try to find 3 cell comparables, we're trying to focus on what this house is. It's in an older neighborhood like that to come up with a 2003 comparables with 2016, it's just not going to happen. Even if they're out there, did they sell this year? So trying to go as close as we could with year built, square footage. It's also a 1-level home with no basement, which makes it even more difficult to find apples to apples. But neighborhood was taken into consideration when assessed value was put on, and our comparables, they are all over trying to find the main level with no basement, year built, and comparable number 1 coming in at 191, comparable number 2 coming in at 201, and comparable number 3 coming in at 243. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments?
So, a couple of things on what she said. All the comparables that she found were in the 200,000 range. Is that correct?
Comparable number 1 sold in July of 21, and comparable number 2 sold in August and July. So yes, they all
In the 200,000 range?
right.
And my
they all
house-
have less
365,000.
square. They all have less.
I think I just
square footage than you.
heard wrong
I'm
what she
sorry.
said as far
Yes.
as
Yeah.
the values.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you made a comment of a house or a lot that was 20,000 more than yours
Right, both.
Where did you
Or
get
less.
last year.
No, not last year, just right now, but, because that's all I could find.
Okay.
Yeah, I just said like less on that. As far as the cost to build my house, because I built my house, so I know when I'm a builder, I could still build it for well under $300,000. So I don't see where, like, my
So,
value that I think it's at 325.
and they have you.
I don't think it's
to
far
rebuild
from
your
there.
house, they have you at $211 a square foot.
That was the average of the ones that they shared, I think, if I remember
No,
correctly.
that was
Oh.
your house, according to this. The comparables that she had.
Right.
Had the price per square foot at 191, another one had it at 201, and another one at 243. And so,
Right, if,
that's on the upper end to me, from where we've talked about with other properties in the area.
and it's a very
Oh, okay,
basic
okay.
home to
I'm
keep
gonna hold
that
you back
cost down.
now. Now it's time for the
Okay.
commissioners to talk, okay? Commissioner Huff?
This is one of the ones that I struggle with, because I also look at the location and all that and go, in my head, I just struggle with that market value in that location. Yet I look online to get.
Depends how close you want to be to Ross Park Drive-In.
I know.
That is a nice thing.
See, that's a perk.
But how,
That is a perk.
I ate there last night.
yep. And it's a hard one because of where it is, I know that.
And I look at, online, you brought up Zillow, so I look at that, and Zillow says you're worth 400 and some odd thousand. But
I forgot to let you guys know something. We did agree to an adjustment that I did not see until Anita just pointed it out to me. And that adjustment would bring the value in. My computer's working so slow.
I brought it up, it's the square footage one.
Yeah, okay. From 464 down to 437,201. So it did lower it due to square footage. Thank you.
what are you showing as the total square footage now?
We are showing total square footage of 2212, of which 1,753 is finished.
And what that is, we have a bonus room that it's unfinished still, but they added a percentage of it as finished space now.
Mr. Chair, what are you thinking?
Looking at it, like I say, price per square foot. If you go with the lowest one in the comparables at 191, then I come up with a value of 396, 320,
Including the land?
including the land.
I can live with that.
So, where's my parcel number?
Parcel number RPMCD 001301.
So on that parcel, I make a motion that we adjust the improvement, and the total value now will be $396,320. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we didn't go where you wanted to.
Right.
We made an adjustment. Either of you have the ability to appeal, but
Okay,
that's what we felt was fair and equitable.
well, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
That was a tough one.
Mr. Brown? Please introduce yourself, and your 3 minutes will begin.
Stephen Brown. I live at 515 Barrett, and the assessed value came in this year at 457,246, representing a 35.2 increase of land and 29.75 on improvements. Net taxable increase was 47.7%. The basic concern there, the assessed values, if you go back 2 years previously, I did a market canvas on Barrett for all houses. 2 years back, everybody's went down from 11.6. Now, I was using taxed dollars, not assessed values, because it didn't have it listed, but it would be a close proximity. Everybody on Barrett 2 tax years ago went down 11.6 or to 9.7 in taxable. Mine went up 6.4. Predicated on that, going forward, where mine was the only one that went up and everybody's went down, every assessed value coming along the line, in my opinion, has been inaccurate. And I have worked up a table from purchase date that I don't know if you'd like. Purchased, may I approach?
No, we can't take any new
Okay.
evidence. You can tell us. but
Okay,
we
going
can't take any.
forward from purchase date, 3% annual inflation compounded annually, using the Federal Bureau Statistics, would put today's assessed value at 373,541. Then you go to the inflation that the government has put out at 8.6. That would put the assessed value at 380,096, which in my opinion would be more in line with current days, using also the premise Social Security went up right around 6%. So predicated on the fact that 2 years ago, mine was the only one that went up, 6.4%, and the inflation numbers coming from the government with the highest inflation in 40 years being 8.6. I think mine is more right around the 380 as opposed to the 457. And the canvas market I did on Barrett Avenue in the, I don't know who has it, but all the documents represent the fact that mine was the only one that went up, and out of the 15 houses, the rest went down. And right now, the housing market as a whole, part of that package, the Utah, everybody's slashing their prices to sell them.
I'll let you finish.
JP Morgan's laying off people due to lack of mortgages. Thank you very much.
All right. Comment.
Comment is that every year we take current sales from the previous year and we establish market value. So if for some reason a parcel is a little bit lower than others, their value will go up. Also, there's a lot that goes into taxes, homeowners exemptions, etc. So just wanted to make that comment. Going to the appeal, source Bannock County Parcel Viewer on June 24th of 2022, I want to just emphasize the fact that those are not the current for 2022. They are for last year, 2021. So all values raised in Bannock County and throughout all of Idaho. Jumping down, this one, did you get my, you've got it, my appeal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for some reason, I didn't, so we will just go up with this. Not my appeal, but my
Works.
packet.
Yeah.
So jumping down to comparable sheet. Subject property built in 1992, came in at $457,246 for the year 2022, with a price per finished square foot of $120. Comparable 1993, came in at $125. Comparable 1993, came in at $119, and comparable 1992, came in at $126. And if you look at the map, you will see that all these comparables are right there, right next to subject, within just a couple blocks. Thank you.
Okay. Comments on what you just said?
Two things. I use comparables on all the homes on Barrett, not a distance away. Number two, as of this morning, the Bannock County parcel viewer has different numbers on it than what are reflected even on my, what do you call the form, the tax form they send you that I am appealing. So I don't know which one is right, because as of this morning, came out total value 423,783, which is different.
Look into that right now.
And that was at 11:51 a.m. today.
But it wouldn't have the updated assessed value on the parcel viewer because they haven't completed this yet. So that information hasn't been downloaded. Yes, sir.
The number here is different from what it was last week.
And
This is a brand-new number.
I'm gonna get on that right now
Okay.
and find out what's going on.
Well,
Yeah,
something else? Okay. Well, you've been in here and you've heard me talk about the price per square foot. Yours is 120, the next one is 125, next one's 119, the next one's 126. That's the justification that I've used on the others to bring them down. So I've lost that justification because you're right there in the ballpark. The other part that you've talked about, in 2018, 2019, your values didn't go up. Your assessed values were down. You come to BOE in 2019,
I sent one in. Is it my turn to talk?
well, you sent one in and we lowered your values by 35,000 at that time. And so when you're comparing yourselves to your neighbors, if they didn't come in, they didn't get the same breaks you got. And you got 35,000. So now you will be raised up. Yes, sir.
If that be the case, why did my taxes go up? Because taxes are predicated on value. Why did mine go up and all theirs go down?
We're not talking about taxes. We're talking about assessed value. Yes, sir.
I understand that, but assessed value
Plus
With-
levy.
gives you the taxation. So if a person with 100,000 here and he's at $10, and if 100 here and he's at $20,
Like I said, we're not talking taxes.
okay.
Commissioner Huff?
I'm looking at all of his neighbors, and he's in line with the neighborhood and the assessment throughout the neighborhood. I'm looking at the house across the street, 467, 2 doors down, 498. His immediate neighbor, 423. So it seems to me as if everybody's in line this year. I'm looking at the online sites to see what the price is. And again, I think the assessor's done a good job on this one, pricing it where the market is. So on this one, on parcel RP HLV 000300, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we upheld their values. Like I said, you have the ability to appeal to the state tax board or to the district courts. Other than that, this hearing is over.
Thank you, and you guys and ladies have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks again.
You too.
All right, we have Kenneth Buffalo. No show?
Let me pull him up.
So,
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 385-100-6513, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Robert Richway. Anything on that one?
Nope. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPSW 2011300, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
We have motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and go to Dameron.
Is that in the admins?
It was at 4 o'clock, and so, but he wouldn't be able to make it, so they moved it to admin.
Dean?
Mhm.
Okay.
Did you see the home at 2800?
Yeah. Show me, where's the proof? Show me.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
I'm gonna look here and see if I can find that. Still looking.
So there's a worksheet on this one,
Yes,
and it brings it down to 354, 446.
correct. Yes.
And if I take the 30%, I'm at 351, 910. So the adjustment, if you're, I don't know who made the worksheet out, but if that's your price, you come down.
I'm happy with that from what I'm seeing.
Is that your suggestion?
That would be our recommendation, yes.
All right. On parcel RPHD 3002500, that we go with the assessor's recommendation of $354,446, with the adjustment being made on the improvements. Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with that, we'll be at recess until 3.